and welcome to day 23 of our 24 days of building more muscle with calisthenics training. We're coming around to the tail end here, but I've saved some of my best tips for last. In yesterday's video, we looked at my favorite emphasizing exercises, not so much isolation exercises, for building up the legs. Today, we're going to do the exact same thing in working with the arms. Now, there's a lot of debate out there on folks like what's best if you want to build up your physique, like isolation or single joint exercises like bicep curls. Are they effective? Are they not effective? You've got some guys who will champion that compound movements are all you ever really need and that save the curls for the girls kind of thing and stuff. And I've been on both sides of that debate myself many times over the years. But the bottom line is, if you are trying to build up a muscle and it's just not really getting the development you want, you're going to have more success if you're using exercises that work it more directly. That doesn't mean isolate it necessarily. We still want to have a lot of integration of that muscle with the rest of the muscles in the tension chain. But if your biceps are lagging behind, no matter how many pull-ups and rows that you're doing, well, then by all means hit the curls, because you're going to have more direct emphasis on it with the curls. And as Arnold always said, if you can't get a muscle to build up, well, work that muscle more. And that's what we're trying here. So we've got our biceps and our triceps with my favorite exercises here, again, on the trusty suspension straps. And one of the biggest mistakes that people make with bicep curls is they get too much movement and body English involved with this. So we're going to use a variation that is mechanically weaker, shall we say, and that usually means it's a lot easier to work the muscle a lot harder. So these are alternating curls. You're going to want to make sure that you're using some sort of a suspension setup that allows you to put more weight on one side after another. So nothing that's going to slip and slide back and forth. Gymnastics rings work well. These are the NOSC twin trainers, linked down below. These, in my opinion, are by far the best designed suspension system on the market, partially for that reason. What we're going to do is we're going to lean back, not too much, and we're only going to curl primarily with one arm. So I have a supinated grip on my left side. This hand has very little weight on it. And as I curl up, I'm primarily curling up with my bicep, but my back is still engaged. From here, I switch my hands. I also switch my weight distribution, and I curl up again. So it's like an alternated dumbbell curl, and it's very easy to load the muscles with a lot of resistance. I don't need to get a super big angle. I'm not trying to really throw myself into the exercise. We want to be smooth and controlled in order to make the biceps really work hard. Works extremely well as a finisher or as a dedicated exercise just to get a good pump in the biceps. And then for the triceps, because after all, if we want to build up our arms, we don't want to neglect the triceps because that's a little bit more than half of the actual muscle mass in your upper arm. We have the standard tricep extension. Again, a lot of times people will start to put a lot of emphasis in their shoulder movement like this, but you see my elbows aren't really bending a whole lot, so it's not going to do much for you. Great for a lat warm-up, but instead we want a lot of movement in the elbows. So the way to think about this is the straps are right over the shoulders, maybe a little lower if the straps are longer, and you want to drive the elbow down and forward underneath your hands. My hands are roughly about my eye level. They're not coming way up high like this. And my back is still engaged. If you're feeling tenderness in the elbows, it means your back and your shoulders are too relaxed. So I'm just driving my elbows down and forward, and then up and back. And smooth motion, we're not trying to use movement. Common mistake is to bend the hips, which isn't bad, but it puts more weight on the feet. And if there's weight on the feet, there's less resistance on the arms, so keep your glutes engaged as well. And that's going to give you a good, big, full stretch with a lot of muscle building emphasis on your triceps. These exercises are fantastic as standalone movements to get a good pump in the arms, but they're also fantastic finishers in a grind style calisthenics program. And I'll have a little micro workout down below in the description if you want to try that out. And tomorrow is our last day, folks. I left my best big tips for tomorrow, so make sure you come back tomorrow to check that out in the video. Likes, shares, and all that sort of thing is greatly appreciated. And I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Be fit and live free.